I think it's going.
It looks like it's going. Welcome to Too Old, Too New, the music discovery podcast that brings you something old, something new, something Nate, something Bruce. I'm Nate Runkle, host of the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast, and with me, as always, is my good friend Bruce Warren from WXPN.
Hey.
The premise of this show is simple. Each week, we bring you 2 songs apiece. 2 new songs that we believe have... Nope. One new song that has been metaphorically spinning our turntable platters, and one old song that we believe still absolutely matters. Ah, man, I was on a roll, and then,
It's okay.
I'm still all worked up because, sir, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions yet again.
Come on. That's right. That's a nice hat, dude.
You like that? I got that night of.
Did you? After the game, I was going to go over to our local rally house over here. And I decided not to because I figured, what the hell? They'll be open in the morning, and I wasn't working the next day. And wouldn't you know it? Nothing. Borscht, nothing.
Really?
But I got this. So, my green Eagles sweatshirt will do the trick. But that is a very tasty hat. And yes, we are very psyched because the Eagles have won the fucking Super Bowl.
Not only have the Eagles won the Super Bowl, but I want to just bring this up because listeners who would have listened to last week would have known that we put our predictions in. And your prediction was 37-17, which at the time felt fucking insane to me. Mm-hmm. And you just kind of lowballed it on both ends.
Yeah.
But you were right there, man. 40-22, and those 22 don't. Good portion of them don't count.
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of, you never know. What the fuck do I know about football? I'm a fan, right? But I was feeling that the Sunday night was going to happen. I just something about it. I heard. I was listening to the WIP morning show a few weeks ago, and Ruben Amaro Jr. was on, and they were talking about the game, and he predicted sort of like a victory, because he made this great comment because he said he felt like they had the mojo and the talent. And, based on what he went through with the Philadelphia Phillies, the year that the Phillies won the series, they had the mojo and the talent. And something about it was just all coming together. And when he said that, I was like, they are going to blow them out and they are going to win. And I didn't waver once, although I was terrified on Sunday morning when I woke up.
Yeah, well, you nailed it. And I just want to say that me personally, I predicted that Jalen Carter was going to duff Patrick Mahomes right in his goddamn face, and he did it for me.
Exactly. In fact, I think he turned to the camera and mouthed, "That was for you, Nate."
See, he's a fan. He listens to Too Old, Too New. No, it was amazing. What an amazing night. I literally stood the entire game. I couldn't sit.
Same.
And I was just so hype. And then, my God, Kendrick Lamar, what a victory lap, man. I just, look, the Drake thing at this point is almost a year old. It's been beaten to death. But even as much as it's beaten to death, to hear an entire stadium yell A minor, oh my God.
I know. I know. I was in a house full of people and we all went A minor.
Of course. You can't help it.
Exactly. It was
genius.
It's genius.
But yeah, and the visuals in that performance were just absolutely stunning. The choreography was great. I was just blown away from start to finish.
Yeah, same. So we got some new music we're going to start with, right?
We do. And
all right.
And for the listeners, every once in a while we'll pick songs and Bruce won't hear he'll know what I picked, but he won't hear. And he just told me before the call that he has not heard this yet. And you may not have heard it. I think it just came out either today or yesterday. It's a new song from Laura Jane Grace. And but not with a different project this time. This is the Trauma Tropes. I think this is now the third project in a year. Fourth, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if you count the Cat Bite Op Ivy, which I'll talk about in a little bit as well. But this new song is called Your God, God's Dick. And the second I heard it, it was stuck in my head. I literally, as I was cutting the snippet, played just a clip for my wife. Within a minute or two later, she was like, that song's stuck in my head. And I was like, I know it is. That's how good it is. So this is Your God, God's Dick by Laura Jane Grace and the Trauma Tropes. Does your
This
God
guy-
have a big fat dick? Because it feels like
Feels
he's
like it's
fucking me.
fucking me.
If
What a
that
line.
isn't the anthem for 2025, I don't know what is.
What a line. That's incredible. Wow.
It's amazing.
As they say, that's pretty amazing. And obviously, we'll all listen to the whole thing in its entirety. But that is, as they say in the radio business, NBQ, not broadcast
Not
quality.
broadcast. That was what I was going to ask. Do you even attempt to edit this to play on the
No.
radio? Like, there's
No.
nothing you can even do about it, right?
No, but it's like instantly anthemic.
Yes, and
You know?
there's like Queen level vocals on it. She absolutely killed it on this track. What I was mentioning earlier about the Op Ivy project, last year, Laura Jane Grace and our Philly pals Catbite put together a Operation Ivy tribute set. They did like 27 Operation Ivy songs. They did it at Riot Fest and also at the Supernova Ska Festival. They recently released a live version of the Riot Fest show, the after party. It's only available on Bandcamp. It's pay what you can, and the proceeds are split 50-50 going to Sweet Relief. And I wrote it down. Where is it? And Best Friends, both taking care and helping out with the LA wildfires. So I wanted to make a mention of that. Check it out on the Catbite Bandcamp, catbite.bandcamp.com. You can find that. And, of course, Laura Jane's newest track, Your God's
Wow,
Dick.
that is a banger. That's really good, man. That is really good.
I feel like that's gonna stick. That's a sticky song.
The little bit that we heard kind of reminded me of like straight up old school Clash. It was rocking. It was beautiful.
Yes, for sure.
But that's a good one, man. And now we're going to just change total direction, musical direction, because I'm going to play a new song by a guitarist, as they say, a guy named Nels Cline, who some of you probably know him best as a guitarist for Wilco, responsible for one of the greatest guitar solos ever in the history of rock and roll. And I'm talking about the solo on Impossible Germany. But Nels plays a lot of jazz music too. In fact, he's equally as talented at that genre as he is at rock and roll. New record coming out in early March, and Nels has done a lot of experimental, a lot of innovative jazz music, other music, however you want to call it. But this is pretty much a straight up jazz record, traditional jazz record. Quartet. It's called the Concentric Quartet. Also playing in Philly, I just saw that Nels is going to be here in early April, at the best club to see jazz in Philadelphia, Solar Myth, which is an amazing place. So let's check it out. This is called The 23. It's new from Nels Cline. Oh, there you go. It's new from Nels Cline. Concentric Quartet. And I don't know who the players are in his band. I don't recognize any of their names, but Ingrid Lalbrock plays saxophones. Chris Lightcap plays bass, and drummer a guy named Tom Rainey, and Nels on guitar. So there you go. It's great. It's in the pocket. It's totally amazing.
I'm so glad you picked this for a whole multitude of reasons. This is one of the songs that immediately ended up already on my top of 2025 playlist that I've been kind of keeping track on this year. I am an enormous Nels Cline fan, without a doubt, my favorite guitar player, period. And you mentioned the guitar solo in Impossible Germany. I've talked about this on countless podcasts, and I'll talk about it on ours. Is literally my favorite piece of music ever. Period. It owns me. And the very first time I saw Wilco play it live, I was in literal tears,
Yeah,
like in my
I can
seat
believe it.
in tears.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming to me how good that solo is. A year or two ago, I saw Nels solo at Ardmore Music Hall. And it was like just watching him like kind of create sound with a guitar that isn't always what you would expect a guitar to sound like or how you would expect to play a guitar. I was just dumbfounded. And then he and his wife, he's married to Yuka Honda, and the two of them did a duet. And Charlie Hall and I talked about it after the show. I was just like, can you just imagine what like their house sounds like at night? Like,
Right. Yeah.
probably the coolest neighbors to have ever.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you just have these two world-class musicians living next door, just noodling and creating. And my God.
Yeah. It's
But yeah,
fantastic.
this song's just absolutely stellar.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And I'm psyched. I'm definitely going to go see him. I decided after we get done the pod, I'm buying a ticket.
Nice. Yes.
There you go.
I'm so glad you reminded me too, because I heard that announced, and I think it was before tickets were up. So like, yeah, I definitely got, I got to make that happen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to go ahead. You go. Go ahead.
I'm still, what I was going to segue is I'm still looking through smudges here because my glasses are really
Okay,
fucking-
well, I'm glad you brought up the glasses, Nate, because we talked a little bit about the actual game itself, the Super Bowl game, but during the the game, always highly anticipated, almost always a letdown, or the commercials. And Nate, your glasses look like, are those Ray-Ban Meta glasses by any chance?
They are. I've had them almost for a year now, and they're
What?
they're one of the greatest inventions ever made. Yeah. As a matter of fact, here's a little Easter egg for anybody who is a deep listener to Too Old Too New. Every once in a while, you can sometimes hear my microphone pick up a text message, and it's usually like the voice going, "You have a text message from," and then it'll say whoever it is. But yes, no, these I bought these because ever since I was a little kid, I was always a tech kid. I always loved new tech. As a matter of fact, in 5th grade, my nickname was Inspector Gadget because I always just had all kinds of trinkets and stuff in my desk. And so when these were announced, as a content creator in the 2020s, I saw an opportunity, and I was like, oh, these things take pictures and they shoot video and stuff like that. You can live stream from them. And so I thought that would be very interesting. But do you know what's more amazing than all of that is I never use this camera ever at all. What I do use is it's got built-in speakers. And you can, I can listen to music while I'm like literally having conversations with people because they're open ear, and it's just like curating my life through music. And then more so than that, they just rolled out an AI technology in it. Look, not all AI is bad, because these things I can turn on live transcription, and if someone's speaking Spanish to me, it will tell me what they're saying right in my ears. Don't have to hold Google Translate or anything.
Wow.
It's the future, man. These are the future. And they're the coolest thing in the world.
And you've had them for over a year, so
Yeah,
man,
almost, yeah.
you're just way the fuck ahead.
I'm what they call an early adopter, Bruce.
Hey, how often do you have to charge those things?
Every day. It'll usually get me through like a 8-hour workday, depending on how much I'm using it to listen to stuff or video and stuff like that. But it just charges in the case, and it charges very quickly. So
Wait, and they're prescription.
They are prescription, yes.
Wow.
So that was kind of how it came up that I had these, because I had a doctor's eye doctor appointment yesterday, and they were like, your lenses are pretty old. Let's get you some new lenses. And so the glasses, I think, start at like $3.99, all right, the frames. And so I got these on my insurance, plus I had an old HSA account where, I picked up the rest. So I go to Lens Crafters to get the lenses, and they go, okay, so the lenses that you have in there, to get them upgraded, it will be $1,000. And I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, well, you have really good eye insurance, and so it's only going to cost you out of pocket $360. And I was like, that's more than the goddamn glasses cost. So yes, so word to the wise, if you get them and you get them out the gate, don't change the lenses.
All right. Okay, that's good to know. Incredibly helpful tips here, folks.
That's right.
not
We
only-
bring you all the goodness.
Exactly. We school you on music, and we also school you on the latest technology and the real what it means to have a pair of Ray-Ban Meta glasses. What it actually means from a layman's perspective, from a user's perspective.
If I don't know if it's up on the Instagram or whatnot, or if it was a story, I can't remember. But when last year when Fountains DC played non-com and the mosh pit broke out, I actually turned the video on and went into the mosh pit with the glasses on. And
Okay.
there is a POV video of what it was like to be in the Fountains DC mosh pit.
I got to see that. I got to see that.
I'll
That's
send you a
really
link.
great. That's really great. So interesting. Okay. All right. So interesting because, like, when you go into a concert, there's usually signs that say, no filming, no video, no this, no that, whatever. Like, they can't stop you.
Well, they can because, and this is the one thing that
Uh
actually
oh.
makes me feel good about these glasses, and not a complete creep, is that there's a privacy light on them. So if I'm ever trying to take a picture or record, there's a light that will
Oh.
actually shine to
Okay.
say that these are recording.
Okay.
So if you're ever walking somewhere and you see some guy with one single light coming out of his eye, he's
Uh-huh.
creeping on you, and please
Okay.
tell him to stop.
All right. See, another really helpful tip for all you future Ray-Ban Meta wearers. All right.
All right.
What else did we want to talk about? Anything else? We hit how great the game was, right?
We hit the halftime show. Oh, there is one other commercial I'd like to give a shout out
Yeah.
to, and that is I'm always a big fan of Ben Affleck whenever Ben Affleck does comedy, and he did a new Dunkin' commercial. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because my friend was in it, and it blew me away. You guys might know the director Kevin Smith, who also plays Silent Bob, as in Jay and Silent Bob. He kind of was one of the people who helped Ben Affleck become the big star that Ben Affleck is when he cast him in his film Chasing Amy. And they've remained friends. As a matter of fact, Kevin lives in Ben's old house. I think Ben sold it to him for $1.
Wow. Good deal.
So like, but I had no idea it was happening, and all of a sudden I'm watching the Super Bowl, and this guy I know is on the screen, and I'm like, well, this is bizarre. Like,
Yeah. Wow. Look at you name dropping fucking Kevin Smith, dude.
hey, sometimes you just got to feel cool.
All right. That's all right. Well, you are cool.
Speaking of cool, you have a really cool old song this week.
Well,
Look at
yeah,
me,
and
segue
it
king.
was inspired by, the halftime show, Kendrick Lamar, because he opened up with a song called "Squabble Up," and it samples my pick tonight, a song called "When I Hear Music" by Debbie Deb, who was born in Brooklyn but was kind of raised in Florida, and she was working in a Peaches record store. Some of you may be old enough to remember that place, and she was like sort of running the disco R&B department and was a singer. And she met this producer and a guy named Tony Butler, who totally took advantage of her financially. Didn't give her any. He basically paid her $75 to sing the song, and then it became a big hit. And that was all the money that Debbie Deb ever saw from this thing. So this song is like a classic mid 80s roller skating rink jam. I mean, it was everywhere back in 84, 85. And Kendrick Lamar samples it on Squabble Up. So it kind of triggered, I should pull this one out. So let's listen to it. When I Hear Music, Debbie Deb. 82, 83, 84, the sound was all over America. I mean, everything from Africa Bambaataa to, I remember that song, Play at Your Own Risk.
Oh my God.
Planet Patrol and the Smurf. And I mean, it was everywhere. And this song just freaking nailed it. And it's still such a great song.
It
Such a
makes
great
me
song.
it makes me immediately want to pop and lock like I'm
Totally.
rerun from What's Happening. Like which I just realized second What's Happening reference on this show. Okay, this is a good show.
What was the first one?
Well, back the episodes before.
Yeah, right. I remember that. Yeah.
But yeah, like this kind of stuff, and then this leading its way into like that freestyle sound of the late 80s, early 90s, like is without a doubt what I think of whenever I think of like a school dance.
Yeah.
Like it's just, this and Stevie B and oh man.
Yeah,
It's
all
the
great
good
stuff. I know, all great stuff. And you got something cool.
So my pick this week, I'm known to go a little extra. This version of this song has never been formally released. Back in 2006, Pharrell Williams released a solo album called In My Mind. And it was the first thing that he put out that he produced by himself without Chad Hugo. So it's not a Neptunes thing. It's all Pharrell doing Pharrell stuff. He's got guest appearances on there from Gwen Stefani, Charlie Wilson, Snoop Dogg, who's kind of left
Yeah,
my good graces.
Fuck Snoop Dogg.
And another guy whose name I will never fucking repeat ever again in my life is also on
Okay.
this, unfortunately. But the album is really good. There's a lot of really good kind of Pharrellisms on it. But shortly after he recorded and released this, he asked Questlove to do a version with live instrumentation, which is, kind of something that happened with the original NERD project. They did the, Neptune's release and then went back and did a live music version with Spy Mob. So for this, he enlisted Questlove, and Questlove grabbed James Poisner. And James and Questlove used to have a project that they did remixes and stuff together called the Randy Watson Experience, named after Randy Watson Experience from Coming to America.
Right.
The great I believe the children are our future. Teach them well. Let them lead the way. But anyway, so they did the entire album, and it was entitled. They changed it was called "Out of My Mind" as a play off of the name "In My Mind," and it was credited to Pharrell Williams and the Yes Sirs. And my friend and I, we obsessed over this when it came out. I remember, I think Quest released it, Slow released it. On his MySpace page, just telling you how long ago this was, and you can actually find it on archive.org. I'll put the link in the show notes for you to be able to hear it. But this is a track that you may know, featuring a gentleman named Jay-Z. This is Frontin', but this is the Pharrell Williams and the Yes Sirs version, and you may be hearing it for the first time, even though it's my old pick this week.
That's a pretty tight snare drum slap there.
Oh my God. It's so like he is one of those people who, he reminds me a lot of like Charlie Watts, who is someone who is
That's really interesting.
a completely understated drummer who like can keep that beat just like a goddamn metronome, and keep it going, and it just drives. James Poyser is to me like another unsung hero.
Totally.
Somebody who's had his finger in a lot of stuff as well. But man, I always wanted them to like at least release this as like a record store day vinyl or something like that. Maybe I should send an email. That's my whole thing now, is I just want people to release things on record store day. And I think I may have made one happen, because I early last year talked to Craig Wedren from the band Shudder to Think.
Shudder to Think, yeah.
And they did this soundtrack. I want to say it was Last Love, Last Rites is the name of it. But it's Shudder to Think with like Jeff Buckley. I Want Someone Badly is on that. John Doe is on the album. Robin Zander's on the album. Billy Corgan, Liz Phair. It's an amazing soundtrack. And I asked like about it, and he was talking about how Sony had the tapes, because really what I wanted was the isolated vocals for Jeff Buckley's I Want Something and I asked him for it, and he was like, yeah, I don't have them. I was like, damn, that would have been really nice to have. But he was like, I always wanted to revisit that and, kind of just mix it better with what I know now, not change anything, but just touch it. And then they just announced the record store day releases for this year, and that soundtrack is coming out. And I like to think that it's all because I was greedy,
because of you.
and I wanted, goddamn, I Want Someone Badly vocal tracks.
Totally all because of you, Nate. Beautiful. Well, I hope you get a copy at least.
Oh my God! Yeah. If I don't, I'll pay high money. I'll be on Discogs, tracking it down. Mm-hmm. You know how it is. All of these songs, of course, will be on our playlist, our Spotify playlist, included in the show notes here. We will also, have links to the songs themselves in the show notes. You can always find us on the socials. Follow us on Substack. You can watch the full video to this with the music and all exclusively on Substack.
That's right.
Plus, you can follow us on the socials. Bruce is at Some Velvet Blog. I'm at Yo That's My Jawn. You can hear Bruce every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on WXPN 88.5 here in Philadelphia, and you can hear me every other Monday on Why Not Radio. And you can also hear the Yo That's My Jawn podcast. Great episode just came out this week with Andrew Dost from formerly of the band Fun, now with Metal Bubble Trio, and we had an amazing conversation. And it's one of my favorite episodes that I've done in a very long time. Based on the conversation alone. Plus, you'll get to hear me sing "Fly Eagles Fly."
All right. And speaking of Eagles, you're going to the game. You're going to the parade on Friday.
I am not. I went to the parade in 2018, and I feel like I did it, and I'm old now, and I want to give one more person space to be able to enjoy it without some old guy complaining how cold he is.
Well, we got a hell of a day at the radio station. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of our Free at Noon concert series. Every Friday, a free concert, and we have the Lumineers playing. And it's sold out, beyond sold out. And it's, for those of you not familiar with Philly, we're kind of like right in front of Center City, but in the path of many, many people who will be walking by our radio station. It's going to be insane. So we got an early load in with the band, a huge crew. It'll be over by 1:45, 1 o'clock. I'm going to hustle down the Schuylkill River path and try to make it to the art museum to catch it there. That's what I did last time. And I'm very, very excited. So, look out. Nate, I'll be honest with you. I never thought that in my entire life, I'm native Philly. I grew up in Philly, born and raised here, probably die here. I never thought that we would win one Super Bowl, let alone 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. So I feel very honored and proud to be a part of that crazy fan base that has always been a huge fan of the Birds. So I'm very psyched. Very psyched.
Hell yeah, man. And, I want to point this out. I don't know how many people know this. Here's a little fact I learned today, that the NFC East is the only division in all of the NFL to have every single team in it have won at least 2 Super Bowls. And there's teams who have never won the Super Bowl. So the fact that we all collectively have 8 of them,
Yeah.
that's amazing,
good.
man.
Yeah.
So, whenever anybody talks shit on the NFC East and says it's easy,
That's right.
This is the home of Super Bowl champs, my friend.
That's right. And as Jason Kelsey said today in his message, his first actual message since the Super Bowl win, if you don't like it, fuck them.
That's right. That's exactly right. I do want to add one other thing about this Free at Noon thing, though. I feel like you guys are trolling me because the Lumineers, I love the Lumineers. They're great, right? But every time I see them, a little piece of me dies inside.
Why?
Because back in, I want to say 2010, maybe, right before they broke, they played at the Grape Room the same week that I played at the Grape Room.
Oh.
And I have to listen to the Lumineers while I'm in my day job at work, okay? And I just feel like it's a little insulting that to celebrate the 20 years of Free at Noon, you would personally insult me.
Hey, Nate, let me just say one thing. Perhaps you should have reconsidered a little more hey and a little more ho, okay? That's all I can say.
I didn't stomp or clap enough in my music. I get it.
And we love the Lumineers.
We love the Lumineers.
Yes, we do.
All right, sir.
All
well,
right, buddy.
Enjoy the parade. I hope you make it. Enjoy
Thanks.
the celebration, and I will catch you next time.
All right. Peace.